and welcome or welcome back to The Books Are Everywhere. So it is a very exciting time of the month. I am here to play mini golf TBR. I love doing this game, it makes me so happy to do it, and I've had a pretty busy day at work, so it's nice to come home and be able to film this TBR. I'm very excited. But before I do this TBR for June, oh my god, I'm going to just go through quickly what I chose in last month's mini golf TBR and see whether I succeeded or not. And if you want to see that video or any others, there will be a playlist link down below of all of the mini golf TBR games that I have played, which is, I think this one is the year anniversary of mini golf TBR, which is very, very exciting. So in no particular order, I had one word title and I chose Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. I really enjoyed this book. I was a little hesitant because I thought it would be more kind of literary, but it is quite easy to read. I also listened to the audiobook on Joe's recommendation and I really, really loved it. I think I'm giving this one 4 out of 5 stars. I have managed to read most of the books on this TBR. However, I haven't rated or reviewed anything in a while, so I don't think I've rated or reviewed any of these so far. So bear with me when I come up with my ratings and kind of little reviews on the fly. But if you want to learn more about any of these books and my thoughts and feelings on them, I will be going through them in much more detail on my wrap up for May. I then had Shortest Book and I read Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I read this one on audiobook too. There will be a trend. I have been reading a lot on audio recently and I actually really like this book. This is another 4 out of 5 stars for me, which I think a lot of my recent reads have been, to be honest. But it might even be a 4.5 because I did really like this. It's set in a cafe and there's a little bit of kind of time jumping in here, time travel. It's a Japanese translated fiction with multiple stories in here following multiple people, and I really enjoyed it. The only thing that let it down is I wanted a little bit more of a wrap up at the end, I think, to see where some of the characters kind of were at the end of the book, but other than that I did really enjoy it and I really liked the audiobook too. We then have the oldest book on my TBR and I went for When Dimple Met Rishi. Well, I didn't go for this. This is the oldest book on my TBR, I think, that is a standalone, and this is the only one I actually haven't read yet. But I am hoping to start this over the next few days. I still have a couple of days left in the month, so as long as I start this before the end of the month, I think I am okay. And the next one is a friend pick, and Amy chose for me to read The Love Hypothesis. I am currently reading this book on audio, but I'm hoping to read some of it physically too, and I'm loving it. It's so good. I am so sucked into the story already. Don't know how far through I am, probably at least a quarter of the way through, or maybe a third or a half, I don't even know. But I'm really enjoying this so far. The audiobook's really good, really well narrated and really funny, but I would like to pick up this in physical format as well, and I imagine it's going to be a real comfort read for me. And the last prompt I had was adult book. I say the last prompt, this is in no order. But yeah, I had adult book, which I would show you the book, but I gave it to my mom to take on holiday with her, so I don't have it with me right now. But it was That Green-Eyed Girl by Julie Owen Moylan. And again, I read this on audio and I really enjoyed it. It was really interesting. It was set in New York across 20 years in the same apartment, so 1955 and 1975. And there was a bit of a mystery element as well to what happened in the apartment in 1955. It was really, really good. I did really enjoy it, hence I gave it to my mom as a recommendation. And again, I'm going to give this one 4 or maybe 4.5 stars if I'm feeling generous when I finally get round to reviewing these books. As I said, this has been a busy couple of months. I'm just finishing up university at the moment and handing in my dissertation in a few weeks' time, so if I'm going to give myself a pass at any point, it is definitely this month and maybe a little bit in June, but honestly I am so excited for June, and let me get on to June. So we have a readathon happening in June, which is Whateverthon, which is hosted by Maddie over at Book Browsing Blog. I took part in this readathon last year and I read 24 books, which was the most I've ever read in a month, and I was very happy. Not saying I'm going to hit that target again this month because I very much doubt it, but I am so excited to be taking part in Whateverthon again, or Whateverthon, and you will be able to see a TBR in another video for that readathon as well, and if you want to find out any more, go and check that one out. However, the reason I mention it is because I will be trying to fit my books in to the ones I've already decided to read for Whateverthon. So I will be trying to kind of squeeze these prompts a little bit when I do pick these prompts. But I'm very excited. But before we get to actually picking up the books, I'm just going to go through a few rules. So I pick 5 books every month from this TBR game, and basically I just have to hit a ball into a hole, which you will see in a moment. Each hole has a prompt assigned to it, and then I will pick the prompt and choose a book in relation to that prompt. If I do get 3 holes in one in a game, hole-in-ones in a game, then I do get to swap out a prompt if I didn't like it or if it doesn't quite fit. And I also have 5 goes to get these prompts, so if I don't get a ball in a hole within 5 goes, I will add another book to my TBR and start again. So that's the way I kind of control myself a little bit. There's only been 1 month when I didn't manage to quite do that, and I had to read 6 books. Hopefully that won't come up this month, but I would like to read a lot for Whateverthon anyway, so you never know. But anyway, I'm going to change the camera so you can see down there where the actual holes are, and we'll get started with choosing the books I'm going to read in June. So actually, before we start, I just need to pick a prompt to go on orange. I think it's just orange, or maybe there's 2 of them. I think maybe one fell off. Yeah, so orange and turquoise I think, so I'm going to pick 2 prompts. So the first one I'm going to pick is this very long one here. I do try and not look at these as I put them on because I do want to be surprised. And the second one I'm going to pick is this one. I think that's the right way. Okay, let's get started with trying to get a ball into a hole. And we've gone straight into green, and we have our first hole-in-one, which is very exciting, so let's see what the prompt is on green. It is a very long prompt, and it is most recent purchase. Okay, haven't bought any books this week, but I think the most recent one I've bought is a sequel. So I can't read that one, because I haven't read the first one. But I think the one I bought before that is actually very fitting, because I think it's on my Whateverthon TBR, but I'm just going to grab it. So I did pick up quite a few books last weekend, but this is the one on the top of the pile. I do usually log my books, but I haven't been managing to do that in the past couple of weeks because I've been super busy. So I think I did pick all of them up around the same time. This is the one on the top of the pile right now. It's also on my TBR for Whateverthon, so that is amazing. And this is Only on the Weekends by Dean Atta. This is a novel told in verse. This is by the same author as The Black Flamingo, which I absolutely loved. And I'm using it for my Whateverthon prompt, so yes, very perfect choice for that prompt for most recent purchase. And this one follows 15-year-old Mac, who is a hopeless romantic. He has a crush on Kareem. He's had a crush on him for as long as he can remember. But when Mac's dad gets a film directing job in Scotland, Mac has to move with him and soon discovers how painful long-distance love can be. Love shouldn't be only on the weekends. It's made worse by the fact that Kareem can be so hard to read. And then Mac meets actor Finley on set and experiences something electric. Mac never thought he'd find love, but now 2 boys want him. How long until his old and new life collide? Very excited, love this cover, love this spine. Very glad I've managed to get this on the TBR. And replacing the prompt on green, I'm going to go for this one. Okay, and for the second out of 5 books, hopefully, let's go. Oh, I just missed that one. But I got it through that time. Okay, let's see which one is on turquoise. So the one on here is new author, and I have a couple that I can actually choose for this prompt, which is very exciting. And I am actually going to choose Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. I am also going to be reading this for Whateverthon, so this is going very well so far. This is a horror that is formatted like an IKEA catalogue, you may be able to tell, and is also set in an IKEA where the main characters, I think, get trapped in an IKEA and can't get out. And obviously, as you can see, it is formatted like an IKEA catalogue. It is a novel, it's a horror novel, but I just think this is so clever. Mark actually tracked this down for me for Christmas, and I also think it's going to be quite a quick read because it's formatted with like a shorter amount of words on a page, if that makes sense, with a big margin. And I love the concept of this. So this is set in the Cleveland Orsk Furniture Superstore, And it follows the employees there as they find things kind of moving in the night and shattered in the morning when they get back in. Security cameras are revealing nothing and store managers are starting to panic. So 3 employees volunteer to work a 9-hour dusk till dawn shift, and then in the dead of the night they patrol the empty showroom floor, investigate strange sights and sounds, and encounter horrors that defy the imagination. I am so excited for this. So excited. I'm really glad that I've picked this one up for my TBR this month. So yeah, on to the next book. So the next prompt I'm going to choose to replace the one on Turquoise is this one. I think that's up the right way up. Okay, let's go for book 3. I missed Orange, which is the easiest one. And again. See if I can actually get it in orange this time. Yay, I got it in orange, the easiest hole. And this is a super long prompt of a book you've had for over a year, which I definitely think I can also fit something on for my Whateverthon TBR. So I'm going to choose Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kemmerer. Me and Alex are planning on carrying on with this series, so this is the second one in June, and I've had this one since it actually came out because this is a proof copy. So I've had this since 2020. Sorry and thank you to the publishers for sending me a copy of this book. It is really cool. It has these like doors on the front so they open. But yeah, I never got around to reading it at the time, but I am going to be carrying on with this series. And this is like a contemporary fantasy series following a girl called Ren, I think she's called, as she goes into this kind of world, this fantasy world. So she's from Washington, I think, and yes, she goes into this kind of fantasy world and she meets a prince. Or is he called Ren? She's called Harper, he's called Ren. And Prince Harper is the, no, oh my god. Prince Ren is the heir to Emberfall, and he is cursed and he has to repeat the autumn of his 18th year over and over again, and he can only be freed if a girl truly falls for him. And then Harper somehow gets into Ren's world and powerful forces are standing against Emberfall, and it will take more than a broken curse to save it from utter ruin. I have read the first one a long time ago when it first came out, but I never continued with the series, so me and Alex are going to buddy read this one in advance of Youll. Okay, replacing the prompt on Orange, I am going to choose this one. Okay, time for the 4th out of 5 books. Yay, I managed to get all of them, I think, all of the different holes. Did I get 3 hole-in-ones? I don't even know. I don't think I did. I feel like I missed green the first time. Oh, this is a prompt. This is the lowest rated. Okay, the last time I did this, to be fair, I actually quite liked the book, so we will see. But I'm going to go on my Goodreads and put my physical TBR from lowest to highest rated and see what is the lowest rated book. So strangely, the lowest rated book on my physical TBR is Witches Steeped in Gold, which I didn't expect, and this is by Shannon Smart. And this is actually quite convenient because it's not on my Whateverthon TBR, although it might be, because I'm doing a poll currently that this is one of the options in and it is winning. But it is on my TBR for Youll, so there is a certain number of books I want to read before I go to Youll, and this is on there because the author's at Youll and I still haven't started this series, so I would like to read this, so this is actually quite fitting. And this one I got over a year ago actually, I think, when it first came out, and it follows Araya, who has spent her life in a cell. She is the heir of an overthrown and magically gifted dynasty, and she was exiled from the island nation of Aika? Not sure. But every day brings her closer to freedom and vengeance. Jasmine Carriot grew up dressed in gold with stolen magic at her fingertips. Daughter of the self-crowned Doyen, her existence is a threat to her mother's rule, but Jasmine has no intention of dying. These two are sworn enemies, and the two witches enter a deadly alliance to take down the woman who threatens both of their worlds. But revenge is a bloody pursuit, and nothing is certain except the lengths Araya and Jasmine will go to win this game. Sounds really good, and yeah, I'm intrigued to see why this is the lowest rated. I hope I like it. I'm really nervous now. Okay, for the last book, let's replace the prompt on blue. And I'm gonna go for this one. Okay, for the last one on this list, let's go. Okay, I missed green. And then I got green in, yay! Okay, let's see what the prompt is on green. And this is proof released. So I have two prompts. There is proof that has been released, and there is, which is this one, and there is proof pre-release, I think it might be called, and this is the one, and that just means the proof hasn't come out yet. This is the one that obviously means the proof has come out, so essentially I need to find a proof that I own that has already come out and choose it, essentially. Okay, so this is not strictly a proof, but the publishers did send it to me around the time of release, so I'm going to count it, and this is As Far As You'll Take Me by Phil Stamper. I've had a lot of proofs sent to me recently, but they all haven't come out yet, so I was going through all of those, and I couldn't find one, so I went for this one, which was sent to me when it was released. So thank you to Bloomsbury for sending me a copy of this one. I am finally going to get around to reading it. I also really want to choose this one because it is a romance, it's a gay romance. I've heard great things about this author's work, and I feel like I want something that will be nice and summery and easy to read, and I think this will be the one. So essentially this one follows Marty, who is headed overseas to London. His parents think he is attending a prestigious summer music course. He does have the talent for it. Secretly though, he doesn't have a place at all, and his plane ticket's only one way. Marty is determined to build a life where he's finally free to be himself, but London's so crowded and with so much to see and learn and do. Together with his gnawing anxiety, it threatens to overwhelm him. But then there's Pierce. He's gorgeous, charismatic, and Marty can't help falling for him. But is Pierce the right boy to be falling for? I've heard such good things about Phil Stamper's writing, so I am very excited to be reading this one. Okay, I feel like I did fairly well on getting a lot of books that were on my Whateverthon TBR onto this list, so I feel like I did okay, but this is the stack so far. There are obviously other books I want to read in June, but I will be finishing my dissertation just a little bit into the month, very soon, so I will hopefully have some more reading time. But we have, in this order, because this is the way I've stacked it for some reason, we have A Book You've Had for Over a Year, in which I went for A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Camera. We have a proof released, which is As Far As You'll Take Me by Phil Stamper. I honestly probably could have swapped those around if I wanted to, but oh well. And then we have a most recent purchase, which is Only on the Weekends by Dean Atter, a lowest rated, which is Steeped in Gold by Shannon Smart, and a new author, which is Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. So that is currently my TBR for June. If you do want to see more from my Whateverthon TBR, then check out that video as well. It will be coming very soon. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye!